My name is Alex Halaseni from the Faculty of Business Management and the Department of Leadership and Governance of the Open University of Tanzania. We'll be together on the course titled Performance Management 117 OLG. This is the continuation of Knowledge Area 5. We have been in the previous sessions and discussions on Knowledge Area 1, Knowledge Area 2, to now today we are going to share with you a few things on Knowledge Area 5. And Knowledge Area 5 covers the following issues, that is introducing, developing, learning about, and evaluating performance management programs. This is the discussion in Knowledge Area 5. This part of the course brings together the knowledge concerning performance management programs. The areas are well explored to ensure that almost every important aspect of performance programs is covered. It includes introducing and developing performance management, learning about performance management, and evaluating performance programs. So let's begin with introducing and developing performance management. How do you introduce and how do you develop performance management? Let's look on the approach to develop. According to Armstrong 2000, an excellent practical evidence on introducing performance management or making substantial changes to an existing scheme was given by respondents to the E-Reward of 2005 survey. This is summarized below with a quotation from respondents to illustrate their views. Now, when introducing performance management, we have to look on the do's, what we have to do and what we are not supposed to do, the do's and don'ts. So let's have now a little look, or the most frequent mentioned do's in order of frequency were the following: the consult or involvement. So when you want now to develop and introduce performance management, make sure you consult or you involve. You provide the training, you communicate the process and the benefits, get buy-in from the senior management, align and ensure relevance to organization or the business stakeholders needs. Keep it simple. When you want to introduce and develop performance management, make sure you keep it simple, get ownership from the line managers, ensure clear purpose and the processes, monitor and evaluate, align to culture, the culture of the organization, the culture of the group, the culture, the total life of doing things in the organization. Make sure you plan and prepare careful, align with other HR processes, run a pilot scheme, clarify, link to reward, treat as a business process. So this we are supposed to adhere to, and also be realistic about the scale and the pace of change, define the performance expectations, and make process mandatory. What we are supposed to do when you need to develop a performance management. Those are the things. Make sure you make a training. Make sure you involve the people in the organizations during the whole process, so to make a clarity on what to do, and this will improve your performance management process in the organization. The don'ts. The most common don'ts in order of frequency, according to this, where don't just make it as a form filling. That management or performance management is not just a form filling that you just come, you write your name, there you go. It's a matter of involvement, seeing issues, creating ownership of the issues. That's the process. So don't just make it a form filling, paper intensive exercise. Don't do that. Don't make it too complicated. Make it easy. Don't rush in a new system. Don't underestimate the time it takes to introduce. Don't keep changing the system, and don't assume managers have the skills required. So you have to take them to require the right knowledge at the right time of the system. Don't link to pay. Don't blindly follow others. Don't neglect the communication. So make it the two-way communications that will enable you now to be familiar, and every individual organization will be familiar. Make sure you train, consult. Don't assume that everyone wants it, the system, but train, make people involved. This becomes easier for the introduction of performance management. Let's see now the development framework. Performance management can be regarded as a framework, as illustrated, we illustrated below here, within which a number of factors operate that will affect how it should be developed, introduced, and evaluated. This is the development framework. As we have seen, introducing and developing performance management approach to development, there are two things, do's and don'ts, and we have been discussing them to their into details. Now, we are now in the development framework. Performance management can be regarded as a framework. Performance management, it is a framework. It is a framework within which a number of factors operate that will affect how it should be developed, introduced, and evaluated. So performance management, it is a framework that within which a number of factors operate that will affect how should it be developed, introduced, and evaluated. The framework of, or the essence of performance management is provided by the arrangement of agreeing performance requirements or expectations, preparing performance plans, managing performance throughout the year, and delivering the performance. Now let us see now within that framework what is inside. So there is a performance agreement. Let's say at the top, performance agreement. This is the framework of what we have. And then in the left side we have performance. On the right side we have performance plan. So right side we have performance plan. Left side we have performance review. Then this process is a continuous. So we begin with performance agreement, then we move to performance plans, then we move to performance review. This is the continuous process. Then inside that, as we leave a gap between performance agreement on the top, and then at the right side there is performance plan, and then we leave a space at the middle. That is inside that now we commence with context. Within the context of the framework of performance management, there is culture, there is management style inside, and there is the structure of the organization. General, a lot of issues. The context, the environment of it, and how should it operate. That is a framework of performance. Now, from the context, we have now content. What is inside from the environment? There are some procedures, guidelines, and principles, and documentations. So after that now, we are follows the process of it. Process, objective setting, feedback, or review, and learning coaching. That's a simple framework that I've been discussing with you, and then you have to keep it as a manager, or as we are training you now to be an employee, or even to be a supervisor. You own your own businesses, your companies. You have to be very, very familiar with this course, because it is a practical course and not just theory. Very practical, and it will help you when dealing with the people, when organizing your issues in the organization. So now let us see performance management development programs. Performance management development programs. Development programs. The development of performance management can be carried out in the 10 stages. The 10 stages. So there is 10 stages in developing performance programs. Development performance program. And each stage arrangements should be made to consult and involve staff. So there is an issue of involvement between the hiring managers, between the top management, between the technical calls, between the support, the administrative support, the technical support. All of this should be involved for the betterment of the organization. It is desirable to set up a project team to develop performance management composed of managers, staffs, trade union, representative, and HR specialists. Now listen carefully. These key issues it is desirable. Make sure you set a project team to develop performance management composed of managers, staff, trade unions, representatives, and HR specialists. This widens the way how we make our performance programs well and will suit or fit to the organization. A project manager should be appointed who, together with the project team, should report to a steering committee of senior managers. Now, let us see these stages for development program in the performance management. So, stage 1 or step 1, you can call decide on the business case for introducing performance management. Decide on the business case. Decide, this is the stage number 1. The business case for introducing performance management should be agreed by top management. Decide on the business. So, business case, this is a vision, a little vision of the organization, and this should be agreed by the top management. As the team now, there is a team that a project team works on it, but decide on the business case for introducing performance management, and put in mind that this should be agreed by the top management. Stage 2, determine objectives and the guiding principles for performance management. So, performance management must be designed to meet business needs. So, when we have now the vision of our case, the business case, so we have now to determine the objectives and the guiding principles for performance management. And this performance management must be designed to meet business needs. For instance, specific objectives could include improve organizational, team, individual, and performance. So you improve the organizational performance, team performance, and individual performance. This is the specific objective. To provide for closer integration of organization and team and individual objectives, and thus focus people on doing the right thing at the right time, and make sure you have the right people inside it. Stage 3, get the commitment and active participation of top management and line managers. This is very important. Get the commitment and active participation of top management. In other way, you can say, get the involvement or the permission, active participation of the top management and line management, because these are the decision makers. Ideas can come from technical core or support, administrative support or technical support to the top management, but the top management are the one who make a decision. The power of the words and behavior of top management should never be underestimated, because these are the decision makers. They can set the example and build commitment at all the workers of the state. Stage 4, draw up guiding principles on how performance management should work. Draw up a guiding principle on how performance management should work. The guiding principles should emphasize that performance management is regarded as a normal and a continuous process of management that is owned by the managers and the staff who are involved. So you create the sense of ownership between the individuals and the managers. the line managers, the top management, all people get involved. Make sure you do that when you want to develop a program on performance management. It should be made clear that it operates as a partnership between managers and their staff who are equally involved in planning and reviewing performance and in implementing personal development and the performance improvement jobs. So let's see the following as an example of guiding principles developed by a working party in local authority. A little example: clearly stated the working objective, subject to regular reviews and updating. Clearly now state the standards of performance, feedback on job, behavior, commitment, and the performance rating, identification of development needs, agreeing to sharing plan. You see now all this makes involvement between the staffs and the managers and all people. Stage 5. Stage 5, defining performance management processes and the documentations. Make sure each stage of the performance management cycle needs to be defined. The performance agreement and the planning process are the first. It is necessary to define how role profiles should be agreed and used as a base for performance management. How objective and targets should be set. How performance measures should be agreed, and how performance improvement and personal development plans should be drawn up. Documentation should be drawn up at this stage with the guidelines or principles on how it should be used. So this helps us to make how to set standards of our performance management programs. And also, it should be emphasized that the forms should simply act as as something that is crucial and vital to us. They should not be allowed to dominate the procedure. That is step 5. Stage 6 is the pilot test. Stage 6, when developing performance management program, it is essential to pilot test performance management in 2 or 3 different types of departments. The procedure as set out on the paper must be exposed to real life conditions so that problems and issues in applying them can be identified. So in the pilot test, the test will indicate what challenges need to be made, but they will also reveal what managers and staff have to learn about performance management, and thus feed into the implementation programs, during which steps are taken to ensure that every learns what they need to know. That is pilot testing. And also the pilot testing should take, the test should cover the main performance management process, the whole process of it. That is developing role profiles, setting objectives, deciding on the performance measures, formulating performance improvement, and developing plans, conducting performance reviews at the progress to see how we are going further, giving feedback and coaching, and completing the document. Ideally, it should cover the whole 12 months cycle from January to December. That is 24/7/52. And stage 7 is communicate. When you want to develop a performance management program, you must communicate. Considerable care needs to be taken to communicate to all concerned managers, team leaders, staff, and trade union representatives. The aims of performance management, how it will work, and how people will be affected by it. Communication can be through documentation and explanatory brochures, the intranet, and face-to-face briefings. The more of the latter, the better. Stage 8 of developing performance programs is plan arrangement for training in performance management as everyone should know, should keep in mind, should be aware what is performance management, what are involved in performance management, and how should us be involved in performance management. How will us should be involved in performance management? It is essential to provide training for both line managers and the staff. Generally, in performance management, it is particularly important that line managers have the skills required, the knowledge required in performance management, as are the one who supervises the whole process, who supervises the responsibility and duties of the workers daily. These are demanding, and the program should provide for coaching, mentoring, and ongoing guidance, as well as formal training courses. Stage 9 is implement. Now, after the whole process we have covered, you have now to implement. The implementation program should cover communications, training, and provision of guidance and help. And the last stage is evaluate what you have done after the implementation. We train the people. Do we have line manager with the skills? All the stages now evaluate after the implementation. It is important to carry out a thorough evaluation as described. Now let's move now to the other part, that is learning about performance management. Learning about performance management. Learning about performance management. To introduce and sustain performance management successfully, it is essential to ensure that all concerned individuals are aware as managers learn. All concerned learning about performance. All people have knowledge and skills about management, about performance management before the introduction of it. How performance management works and why it is important, and develop their skills they need. That's learning about performance management. It's also important to know that all people that are involved in performance management should be aware, should have skills, should have knowledge on how this performance management operates, and why should performance management process be introduced in the organization, and everyone should be aware and get happy of it. Now let's see the rationale for performance management. Performance management may be regarded with indifference. It does not concern me, suspicious, a waste of time, cynicism, we have seen it all before, or outright hostility, it won't work. These negative reactions must be overcome by leadership from the top, communication, oral briefings, as well as the intranet and brochures, training and coaching and mentoring. All those negative thoughts about performance management should be eradicated from the people involved. It should be treated as a normal process of management, which is owned by line managers, not the HR department. Now see here, line managers, they differ. HRs operates and looks at the whole organization and the welfare of the organization, the recruitment, but in collaboration with the line manager. Line manager are the people responsible. They have the skills and they have all the knowledge concerning the production of the department. Those are line managers. So let not the HR own the line managers. Let the line managers cooperate with the people responsible as they have the same skills, and let the HR department have the general knowledge of it. Now, the contribution. It is important to reinforce the message about the business case for performance management with more precise information on the part played by managers and individuals, the contribution of them. The emphasis should be on the need for partnership and dialogue, the open and honest exchange of information, feedback, and sharing the process to the mutual benefits of both parties, as the contribution that performance management, when we learn about performance management, everyone in the organization will gain something, knowledge and skills, career development, and other issues that are very important. So this is partnership. When spelling out the contribution of managers and team leaders, the message should be that They are there to help and to coach, to help and to coach, to help and to coach, not to judge. For individuals, the message will be how they can benefit from self-assessment and the part they can play in developing themselves. That's very important. The other issue in learning about performance management skills. Performance management is not easy. It requires high level of skill by everyone involved. As in every stage, everyone should know what I have to do and what I have to report. So everyone should be involved, and the skills are likely to be ones that have not yet been developed or put into practice. That's the case now. The main performance management skills that people need to learn are, this is very important, now note, the skills that everyone in the organization should learn is preparing role profiles. That is defining key results, areas, and the competency required. Then defining objectives. You have to define objectives. Everyone should have the skills on how to define objectives. Identifying and using performance measures. Giving and receiving feedback. How to give and receive feedback. Those are skills. Taking part in review meetings. As just not one side. This is a two-way. You talk and we talk. We share and exchange. We give ideas. We give recommendations. That ensuring that there is a proper dialogue that enables the manager and the individual jointly, frankly, and friendly, and freely to discuss performance requirements and learning needs. That is skill. Identifying learning needs and preparing and implementing personal development. These are the skills that are needed. There are many performance skills that are needed, and everyone should know. They are diagnosing and solving performance problems and the coaching. Those are the skills. Now let us see the formal learning. Formal learning in the gaining skills. All these skills should be covered in a performance management learning programs, which can take the form of modules dealing with the overall processes and skills. An example of the program on reviewing performance is given like workshops, aims. On completing this workshop, participants will have to, for instance, to understand the purpose of the performance reviews, know how to prepare for constructive reviews, know how to conduct an effective performance reviews, be able to provide the goods feedback, have gained some initial understanding of the processes of coaching and the counseling. Those are the some of the examples of the workshop that a formal learning should involve such issues to make sure they get the right skills. And now the less formal learning for training programs are useful, but not enough. Not enough. Informal versus formal. Performance management skills are best developed through coaching and mentoring. Coaching and mentoring, not teaching. Coaching, mentoring is doing with having an experienced person, and then in a certain activity, and then that person leads you now, directs you. When you want, you do this, you do like this. That's coaching. The HR department can play an important role in organizing these learning activities, but it is best to use experienced line managers as coaches and mentors, as line managers are close to the department, are close to the staff and employees. Evaluating. Let's see now how evaluating performance management can take place. It is clearly important to monitor the introduction of performance management as although as it involves all the processes and all the requirements that are needed. Very careful, but it is equally vital to continue to monitor and evaluate it regularly, especially after its first year of operations. Methods, you have to identify methods. The best method of monitoring and evaluation is to ask those involved managers and individuals how it worked the last year after the implementation. So you have to evaluate and then as many as possible should be seen individually and in groups to discuss the point set out in the point to be covered section in the other involvement. The evaluation can be carried out by members of a project team or by the HR function, or individuals' interviews and focus group discussion can be supplemented by a special survey of reaction, or even also we can use questionnaires to see how people involved they responded to it. Managing performance management, which could be completed anonymously by all managers and the staffs. The ultimate test, of course, is analyzing organization performance to establish the extent to which improvement can be attributed to the performance management. It may be difficult to establish a direct connection, but most detailed assessment with the managers and the staffs on the impact of the process may reveal specific areas in which performance has been improved, which could be linked to overall performance measure. Also, a typical approach points to be covered now. There are issues a lot now, approach on how to evaluate these issues. The question that should be answered in an evaluation of performance management are as follows. There are some issues that we have to see them now when we are approaching to an end of these discussions. A typical approach, there are some issues to be covered in this approach. That first of all is performance agreement. Performance agreement being completed properly. This is how we evaluate performance management program. Do they generally spell out the realistic objective attribute and the competence requirements, work plans, and performance improvement and development plans? That is a question. Also, in the objective, are objectives being agreed properly? Are they related clearly to the key results? Performance standards we have to evaluate. Are performance standards agreed for key aspects of the job where time-based and quantifiable objectives cannot be set? Also, performance measures. Are appropriate performance measures being agreed? Feedback. We have to see also. Are managers providing good feedback throughout the year as well as doing formal reviews? This is the evaluation, how it takes place. Performance review. Are both managers and individuals preparing properly for performance review meeting? This is motivation. How effective has performance management been in motivating employees? Development. How effective has performance management been in developing skills and capabilities? Rating. Have rating been fair and consistently applied? Performance-related pay. Do managers and employees feel that rewards under the performance-related pay schemes are properly and fairly linked to their performance? Would those people who perform high rewarded well? Those are the evaluation takes place. Documentation. How well have the performance management forms been completed? Briefing and training. How effective have the briefing and training programs been? How performance management is evaluated. Outcome. The outcome of the evaluation should be a report that summarizes findings and indicates what actions are required to correct shortcomings in the shape of change to the arrangement and or further briefing and training. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This is the end of our presentations. See you in the next session. God bless you.